This is analog and digital communication systems. The paper code is EC501. Total number of contact hour is 36. The contact per week is 3 lectures, and the credit is also 3. Myself, Dr. Indranath Sarkar, Associate Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at JS College of Engineering. Welcome to Analog and Digital Communication. This is Module 5, Digital Modulation Techniques. There are 5 course outcomes of this subject. The first one deals with, it explains the importance of analog and digital communication. That is the modulation and demodulation schemes. In this case, we are very much interested to grow the knowledge of the student towards the basic definitions of the modulation and demodulation part. The second course outcome deals with the analyze analog communication system for their signal to noise ratio, efficiency and bandwidth, because whenever students are dealing with the signals, they are very much interested to know about its power that can dominate the noise over the channel. So that is why signal to noise ratio plays important role for analog and digital communication, as well as its efficiency and bandwidth. When the signal is received by the receiver, the accuracy should be as high as possible. The third course outcome statements is to compare the advantage of various pulse modulation technique and analyze their system performances. And the fourth one deals with demonstrating signal representation. So this is one of the most important part of the course, that is how to represent the signal or signal constellation, because once the signal position is known, therefore we can describe the noise margin or noise cloud around the signal vector tip, so that the amount of noise that can contaminate the signal will have a prediction. So that is one way to check the communication system suitable for a certain area. Analyze various digital communication techniques, can compute the bit error performance and compare their advantages and limitations. So this is the last outcome, which is dealing with the efficiency of the digital communication system, in which the bit error rate as well as several types of error cases, that is type 1, type 2 errors, will be discussed here, so that students will be able to demonstrate such factors. There are 5 modules in this subject. The module 1 deals with the introduction, where the introductory concept of the communication system will be discussed, and thereafter the basic knowledge of the analog communication and digital communication and their correlation, that is interdependency of those two communication system over the timeline. And the second module deals with the random processes. The random process it deals with certain mathematical examples as well as principles, in which the statistical characterization of the signal will be analyzed. And the module 3 deals with the pulse modulation. The pulse modulation basically analog communication technique, and it is also the bridge between the analog and digital communication technique, because the pulse modulation produces pulses corresponding to instantaneous magnitude of the analog signal. Several categories of pulse modulation are also to be discussed in this module. And thereafter the module 4, which is signal vector representation. So if signal vector is properly represented, then we can predict the amount of noise that can contaminate a particular signal, whether the signal will withstand with respect to that noise or not. So all these things could be predicted. Digital modulation techniques will be discussed here, and differential pulse mode modulation to shift keying techniques, all these things will be discussed in the last module. The prerequisites of this analog and digital communication is the knowledge of signal vector representation, characteristics and of additive white Gaussian noise, geometric representation of signals, synthesizer and analyzer, signal vector, signal space, Euclidean space, etc. And this is the corresponding COPO mapping for the analog and digital communication. There are 5 course outcome statements which are related to the program outcome vertical with 3 different weightages. The first one is the highest weightage, numerically 3, medium weightage is 2, and the lowest weightage is 1. So why it is 3 given? Because program outcome 1, 2, 3 are the corresponding knowledges of engineering, as well as program outcome 10 and 11 deals with the communication and project management and finance. So in this case we are giving higher weightage to each of these course outcome mostly, and there is a low weightage are getting program outcome 5 and 6 because it is the theoretical subject in which the modern tool uses and engineer and society impact are less, and almost environment and sustainability, ethics, these are coming less to this subject. So depending on that, this COPO mapping has been introduced. The course objective of this analog and digital communication is to familiarize students with the fundamental of analog and digital communication systems, to provide students with tools for communication signal analysis, to familiarize students with various techniques for amplitude modulation and demodulation of analog signals, to develop the students' ability to determine the effects of receiver frequency and phase errors in synchronous modulation systems, to familiarize students with techniques for generating and demodulating narrow band and wide band frequency and phase modulated signals, to familiarize students with basic techniques for generating and demodulating pulse code modulated signals, to familiarize students with issues pertaining to the transmission of digital signals over bandwidth limited communication channels. So in this topic we will discuss about the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, 3 subcarriers, orthogonal over 1 symbol duration, orthogonal frequency division multiplexing in detail, orthogonal multiple carrier modulation, OFDM equations, OFDM and the orthogonality principles, and the applications of OFDM. The OFDM is one of the robust technique which is used in the communication of binary data. The OFDM is spectrally efficient digital modulation schemes which employs multiple carriers that are mutually orthogonal to one another over a given time interval. So this is the main important point of the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. It is spectrally efficient digital modulation scheme and which has not been seen in case of normal frequency modulation, and still there is a bandwidth optimization which is taken care of in OFDM technique. Each carrier consisting of a pair of sine wave and a cosine wave is referred as a subcarrier. So subcarrier is also one of the important term used in this orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, because here the carrier signals are appearing in pair in terms of sine wave or cosine wave. So that is why each subcarrier signals are need to be properly notified so that we can understand what is the which one is the actual carrier and which one is the subcarrier. If an OFDM scheme with n subcarrier is present, then available transmission bandwidth is equally divided among the n subcarriers. That means if there are n number of subcarriers is present, and if is the total bandwidth, then the bandwidth will be divided by n. That is W hertz. Typically, it is shown that single side transmission bandwidth, if available, then the bandwidth allocated to each of the subcarrier will be division. That is W divided by n hertz. The difference between the two adjacent subcarrier is called the subcarrier spacing. So subcarrier spacing is very much important. Otherwise, what will happen? The inter-channel interference will occur because the frequency separations are very much required. Otherwise, the transition of the spectrum rise or fall may contradict with each other, and therefore there is a chances of aliasing effect which will appear in the modulated signal. This is a typical representation of three subcarrier orthogonal over the symbol duration. So here three subcarriers are taken, and if we observe the time domain representation of the symbol, resulting symbol, they are not overlapping, but they are well separated in the time domain. So therefore we are getting the three different subcarrier are having three different frequency as well. So there is no chances of contaminating one signal or one subcarrier with another subcarrier. That is why we are telling that subcarriers are well separated in terms of frequency. So as W is the total typical bandwidth for the system, then the each of the subcarrier will be at least W by n hertz. So here the three frequencies are not same, though we have considered about the equal division of the frequencies, but here the frequencies are different, but they are separated with safe spacing. Each subcarrier consists of a pair of orthogonal sinusoids at the same frequency, so each subcarrier receives 1 dBit every t second, and hence its own symbol rate of arrival is 1 symbol per t second. We set the subcarrier frequencies as f0 equal to 1 by t hertz. So f1 equal to 2 by t hertz. In this way, f by f of n minus 1 is equal to n by t hertz. Now this is the orthogonal multiple carrier modulation technique, that means the modulator circuit. Here the encoder performs the encoding of the incoming data bit. Now this stage is important because once the successful encoding of the data bit is performed, and then 2n times of sequence has been fed to the parallel to serial converter. So here the parallel to serial converter is required because we are feeding each of the lines with different carrier frequencies, and these carrier frequencies is known as a subcarrier. So each of the bit is divided into even bit and odd bit, and even bits are multiplied by cos omega 0 t, and the odd bits are multiplied with sin omega 0 t. So in this way, omega 0, omega 1, omega up to omega n frequencies in the carrier are applied to the data bits, and finally the results all are accumulated at the adder circuit, and resulting OFDM modulated signal has been transmitted. So here the subcarrier frequencies assignment are very much required because subcarriers are determining the efficiency of the modulated signal. Otherwise the signal produced at the OFDM output will not be robust in the channel, because channel is always prone to noise. So that is why the signal which is produced by the OFDM modulator circuit, it should fight with the noise in terms of magnitude superposition. That means amplitudes are always contaminated with the noise. So if such carrier frequencies are utilized, then messages may be well protected, because several carrier frequencies have been utilized in this OFDM technique. So orthogonal frequency division multiplication has a mathematical equation which is shown over here. It represents a sequence of n complex modulating symbols. The complex baseband modulated OFDM symbol, which is represented by x wave t, is equal to 1 by n k of 0 to n minus 1 x wave k e to the power j 2 pi k f0 t. The duration is 0 to capital T. So the symbol duration for which this signal exists uh, is the orthogonal frequency division multiplex signal. So therefore n stands for the number of subcarrier. Therefore k equal to 0 to n minus 1. This summation is required because each of the subcarrier has the contribution in the modulated signal for each of the binary bit. So therefore we need the algebraic summation from k equal to 0 to n minus 1. So k equal to 0 is taken, that is why the upper limit has been n minus 1. So total number of subcarrier is capital N. Now here the orthogonal frequency division multiplexing and the orthogonality principle is employed here. If we see the typical subcarriers which are occupying the spectral zero crossing positions of other subcarriers are orthogonal. So that is why they are having 90-degree out of phase. So if we take the product of the subcarrier and integrate, then that must be equal to 0. So that is the proof of the orthogonality which is maintained by the subcarrier. Now we are going to discuss about the applications of orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. Here some applications of orthogonal frequency division multiplexing in modern wireless digital transmission systems are mentioned. That is asynchronous digital subscriber line, high speed DSL, very high speed DSL use WebDM for transmission, for high rate of data transfer, the digital audio broadcasting and digital video broadcasting services, IEEE 802.11a and IEEE 802.11g, and HyperLAN 2 wireless local area network. Standards include WebDM for supporting high bit rates. So therefore the bandwidth has been optimized and broad banding is possible using WebDM technique. So IEEE 802.16 wireless metropolitan area network standard also includes WebDM. Thank you.